What it do, homies? We out here with some more DPS. This time we are checking out his Imposters rap. Now, you know what, guys? I was actually in the live stream, not for the entire 12 hours, but for like a good, I don't know. I feel like I got there maybe at the halfway or whatnot. But I was definitely there before they started the album. And I was kind of going back and forth between if I wanted to react to these songs or whatnot. And mostly because I like to know as little as possible whenever I'm going into these songs. And after the song played, DPS talked about what kind of things went into making it the song it is. And that's what's kind of got me at the crossroads. Because then I was like, all right, cool. Now, whenever I go through these songs, right, I didn't want my thoughts to possibly be influenced. So as a precaution, I went ahead and waited a couple of days since it's come out so it can relatively be fresh in my mind. So I could form my own thoughts about it and everything. But anyways, let's go ahead and shut up and turn it up. But for those you, yes, I said shut up and turn it up, and here I go talking. Yes, I obviously have heard this song already, right? The stream, so okay. But I didn't listen to it in detail. So here we go. Also, yeah, that production was nutty.
Everybody got it.
Wait, what did I just say? If you fail and deliver below par, the public would disavow any knowledge of listening. This message, this is the this is the thing that Mix did at the beginning. Oh yeah, that was crazy. This has been a war of self-destruct.
Everybody got an opinion. When you're going mainstream, homie, you worry about the wall of rejections? It's hard on the bench seat, low key.
Asking DPS if he's worried about the wall of rejections, given where he is right now, is nutty. Absolutely nutty. That is the last thing that's on his mind. If anything, the wall of rejection should be scared.
Bench seat, low key? You worried that the mass will deny you? You worried that you may seem phony? Maybe you should stop while you're still ahead. Nah, fuck that. They gon' hate me, Brody. They gon' hate that I came up the ranks without doing that dumb shit. Only the verses. They gon' hate that I ran up the bank.
What do you mean? Hold on. On me? See what I'm talking about, man. Those little small details that I kind of lost because I was, in the hype of the stream. On me?
They gon' hate that I came up the ranks without doing that dumb shit. Only the verses. They gon' hate that I ran up the bank without selling my steak or forgetting my purpose. They gon' hate that I'm
So essentially what he's, there's a whole lot of people that not necessarily sell themselves, but pretty much, sell their originality, right? Once they start getting a little bit of traction and they start falling into the pits of doing the same thing, right? The whole copy and paste formula. That's the issue. It's the reason why hip hop ain't dominating right now on a chart, save for like a couple of albums. You got some goated producers and artists out there that just whenever they drop stuff, it's going to be the talk of the town. But for the most part, everything's kind of just really copy and paste, right? Don't nothing sound regional, if you will. We need to get back to those regional sounding beats, but nothing doesn't sound, unique. You know what I mean? There's no signature. Is what ends up happening is that a style is born out of somebody's creativity. The labels see that that's going nuts, and then they start recreating that style, but without the soul and without the substance. And then it gets copied and pasted until people are tired of listening to it. This is why it's always important, right, to be on the forefront and always be looking to improve, and that's what DPS talking about here, right? He didn't go that way. He didn't go this way. He didn't go that way. He paved his own lane, right? And we've heard this in many of his songs over the years, or at least I know I have.
Ranks without doing that dumb shit, only the verses. They gon' hate that I ran up the bank without selling my steak or forgetting my purpose. They gon' hate that I'm feeding my family, living my dream, man. This shit'll look perfect. They gon' hate that I'm dropping these bangers. They forge to the flame, they ain't able to work it. They gon' hate while admitting defeat, brush them off and it's rinse and repeat. They gon' try every angle to get to the top till they slid on my pyramid schemes. It's like I'm living a movie.
That's crazy. Slid on the pyramid scheme, but also how you be scheming in his rap. Okay.
They're gonna try every angle to get to the.
You get it? You're gonna try every angle, slide on my pyramid scheme. He's scheming, but also talking about an actual pyramid scheme. Man.
Top till they slid on my pyramid schemes. It's like I'm living a movie. My lens light up cinema screens. And they gonna be seated in front row. Little bro versus the mythical beast. Been patiently waiting to drop this slow burn. I've been sipping the tea. Been pacing the patience. Hella revealing to where the ops is. Now you gotta listen to me. They been talking that shit. I've been off the grid watching Pop and Lip. I do not forget. Drop the coffin lid. I'll let God forgive. Said I wouldn't be shit. Now I'm killing it. You pleading the fifth? Damn.
He said, wait a minute. You say you've been off the grid. Say that again.
Lip. I do not forget. Been patiently waiting to drop this slow burn. I've been sipping the tea, been pacing the.
Been patiently waiting to drop this. You know, patiently, right? Why say that? Right? Why say that? I've been patiently waiting. It's because this must have been burning in your pocket, DPS, bro. I don't know how long you had the song sitting in the chambers, but you, man, especially the type of stuff that you see online these days, man, you just probably been waiting to release this. Well, you know what? I'd be wanting to ask, you know, if you're watching this, what's your most anticipated single track that you just waiting for people to hear? I wonder if it's this one.
Patience, hella revealing the way the ops is. Now you gotta listen to me. They been talking that shit. I've been off the grid, watching pop and lip. I do not forget, drop the coffin lid.
Been watching them pop the grid. You know, I've been off the grid, been watching them pop they lid, like flapping their gums and everything. You know who else do that? Rustage, right? That's why we be getting, sometimes we getting them tracks at the beginning of the year, right? They stay quiet because they on their grind, they on their mission. And every now and then they gotta, what a DPS, drop a little something on their heads and they get to know who truly run this. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. You just gotta drop one banger, right? He's like, I thought somebody said something. Oh, nobody said nothing. All right, let me get back to work.
I let God forgive. Said I wouldn't be shit. Now I'm killing it. You pleading the fifth? Damn, I'ma bury these bitches on Pompeii. Fucking dummy, you brought me to y'all place. You don't get it. I wasn't worried about the rejection. I was worried about if I wanted to fame you. I keep hearing that y'all in the top places. A competitor titan of my.
He wasn't worried about rejection. He was worried about he wanting to defame you.
I'ma bury these bitches on Pompeii. Fucking dummy, you brought me to.
For those of you who don't know, Pompeii, Pompeii, the volcano, bury lava, whole entire, what was the civilization, or was it called Pompeii? I thought the volcano was called Pompeii, or was the island called Pompeii? But anyways, it got buried in lava.
Y'all place. You don't get it. I wasn't worried about the rejection. I was worried about if I wanted to fame you.
If I wanted to fame you or wanted to defame you. Essentially, DPS saying, you know, if he starts talking about you, it's kind of like what Eminem said in one of his raps, right? I mention you, lose for me, you mention, or whatever, win-win for you. You know what I mean? If I wanted to fame you, I think that's what he meant. Make you more popular than you should have been. Because now I brought some attention to you and everything.
You brought me to y'all place. You don't get it. I wasn't worried about the rejection. I was worried about if I wanted to fame you. I keep hearing that y'all in the top places. A competitor tighten up my laces. Never had it. I came on the wrong path to go in the wrong way. Now y'all up in my way, bitch. The problem with the plenty hits.
Oh, I like that. He went on his own path, right? This path. Ooh, that's crazy. That's a nice way of putting that. This is your own path, right? This is a path that's not traveled, right? Now somehow somebody's in your way. What you talking about? Like you said, imposters, imitators, right? They sitting there and they trying to walk this road with you, but they not equipped, right? They didn't bring the tools. They didn't know what tools to bring, right? Because you forging a new path. This is a different type of path. But they sitting over there and they trying to keep up, but they can't. So you gotta give them the elbows. Get out of here.
Artists, so often there's plenty who peak. So I don't gotta come up from the bottom, no. I just gotta parry who peak. Long Beach got that motherfucking. So I don't gotta come up from the bottom, no. I just gotta parry who peak.
I just got to parry who peak. Parry you, get out of here. If you try to peak, I just need to parry you, ward you off so I can stay at the top, okay?
Long Beach got that motherfucking dog in me. Real talk, now I need to carry my sheep. West Side made another on the rise, and I think it's about time that I bury my peeps. I don't want to say, out of my way. You must be out of your body, thinking you can fuck up my pace. Bitch, I don't play, 'cause I'm on my way. Sorry, not sorry, better stay out of my lane. They got me under surveillance. They see me on the way up. They think that I'm gon' bail, but they sleep on me, I stay up. 'Cause I'm in the sailing, they'll see there ain't no way out. Believe me when I say that. You'll see me on your way up. All my life they've been trying to little bro me. You don't know me, homie, I'll embarrass you. I'm a monster in real life. Pull up the picture, little bitch, I ain't playing a character. 50K.
Honestly, right? I haven't met DPS in person, but I know a lot of you guys have met DPS in person. And I think we're about the same height. You might got an inch over me. I'm 6'2". I don't know how tall you are, DPS. You obviously got a whole much more size on you. But it's funny because, right, I feel like DPS, one of them dudes when you pull up on you, it's like, dang, bro, you monsterly huge. Like, I wouldn't even try you. You know what I mean? It's like you hear a rabbit, you see him in person, you're like, oh, okay, I believe everything you just said.
You'll see me on your way up. All my life they've been trying to little bro me.
But in this case, I think he's for the most part might be, instead of talking about like size, like intimidation, I think he might just be simply talking about his work ethic, right? We are talking about imposters, people who are trying to imitate what DPS does. So, if you do meet him in real life, you'll realize, oh, wait, I ain't really working that hard. I thought I was. My bad.
don't know me, homie, I'll embarrass you. I'm a monster in real life. Pull up the picture, little bitch, I ain't playing a character. 50 caliber, I'm built like a tank. How you pull up and pull out a Derringer? I'ma pull up and pull out a parable. Oh God, man, your shit is unbearable. Oh God, man, your lyrics are terrible. Oh God, man, your shit ain't repairable. Then I make it and you trying to figure out why y'all fly, cause your shit ain't comparable.
He said it is not repairable. He said it's beyond economical repair. You got to pack it up. It's beyond repair. You can't even be taught to be better. That's how trash it is.
But your shit ain't repairable. Then I make it and you trying to figure out why y'all fly, cause your shit ain't comparable. You gon' blame the establishment for that same pocket you been rapping in. How you gon' blame the establishment when your own fans don't be tapping in? You
know what? Most of the time, you know, let's just say this, like back in like, cause I've been reacting to nerdcore for a long time, man. And I don't even know, you know, I know that I'm not a rapper and everything, but you know, I do know about music, you know, not necessarily, I don't rap, but I do know about music, you know, cause I come from jazz. That's my background. So, you know, I like to think that I know a little bit about more than your average person, you know what I mean? And I done said it a long time, a whole while ago. And I've said it to many people, especially up and coming, that, bro, when that triplet flow came in, bro, people could not let it go. Oh my goodness, they could not let it go. It was just, and I was like, bro, I'm sitting there listening to it. I'm like, come on, man, you gotta switch it out. You know what I mean? You gotta do something different, right? Right? Come on, man, but go with the beat. You know what I'm saying? I want to say go with the beat. Sometimes the beats will be fluctuate around a triplet flow, but God, it really irks me. You know what I mean? Especially if you ain't saying nothing. There ain't no substance. You know what I mean? You just got me talking because you was talking about flows and everything, and I know what you're talking about, man. You go 30 songs back and you're still rapping the same way, and you just got to think about it. Like, are we trying to evolve here, right? You should always be striving to evolve. Actually, for a matter of fact, I got some real, examples for you, right? Just go pull up my first reaction and then come back and look at my first, right? You should, not first, and just come out and look at my recent, which might be this one. You'll see the improvement. You should always be trying to improve. Don't stick on the same thing, because that's insanity, right? Keep doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Shit is unbearable. Oh God, man, your lyrics are terrible. Oh God, man, your shit ain't repairable. Then I make it and you trying to figure out why y'all fly, cause your shit ain't comparable. You gon' blame the establishment for that same pocket you been rapping in. How you gon' blame the establishment when your own fans don't be tapping in?
Keep in mind, some of the a huge horse pill is that the world doesn't owe you anything. You gotta go out and get it, right? So if you feel as though it is the establishment's fault, then it's your job to make them listen. How you do that is up to you, but the world doesn't owe you anything. No matter how fire you are no matter how fire your work is, right? You got to go out there and get it.
How you gonna blame the establishment cause your whole brand is embarrassing and you don't drop and you're so shocked when that half-ass music don't pop and you don't stop, you just keep going and your whole fan base is so chopped. You got one half who was disappointed and the other half on the stove off, and you're so salty so you lash out when the real truth is your own fault. What a faux pas, and you probably don't know what I'm talking about cause you're so dull. It's just so sad. I couldn't imagine me spiraling cause of what bro had. Man, I came from the gutter. Instead of me swiping my brothers, I went for my own bag. Too late. Now I'm on the come up, talking out of pocket.
Instead of biting somebody else's style. That's, you know what? And a lot of people don't do that, right? Because that's harder work, right? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like you know, when you leave high school, you go to college, right? You responsible for your own thing. You ain't got no guidance. You gotta go out there and make it your own. Don't nobody want to do that. Don't nobody want to go out there and I would say waste time. It's not really a waste, right? If it's in the pursuit of creativity, if it's in the pursuit of finding your own style, it ain't necessarily a waste or whatnot. But for this circumstance, for a talking point right now, nobody want to waste time going out there trying to do something that they're not sure that's going to work, right? They rather follow a copy and paste style that's proven to work and then go that way. You know what I mean? And be surprised why ain't nothing popping off. Well, you never found out your identity, right? You never found out what made you pop. You know, you was just copying stuff, right? So.
It's just so sad. I couldn't imagine me spiraling cause of what bro had. Man, I came from the gutter. Instead of me swiping my brothers, I went for my own bag. Too late. Now I'm on the come up, talking out of pocket till the motherfucker run up. Then I see it's all in. You never had sense. Now you see I'm going in and you want it full price. I'm gonna give you for a press murder.
Yeah, that whole scheme, pocket going in, going, okay.
I run up, then I see it's all in. You never had sense, now you see I'm going in. And you want a full press, I'ma give you front press. Murder on the front page, I'ma show what'll happen when you try to upstage. I ain't never moved dumb, only move a dumb way. Talking like you wanna run, you ain't even touch base, little bitch. Got a bust this syndrome, been knowing you in competition. You won't even ever pot the piston. Stop talking, listen, this for anybody get in the way. You get dropped trying to pause the mission, woo! Bet you thought I would throw in the towel. Now I can hear you through the roar of the crowd. Only option is go for the crowd. And waiting, my moment is now.
I like this, right? At some point, it's almost as if we got two halves of his brain that's going on, right? You got this whole entire mainstream, which, you know, it is possible that DPS probably entertained the thought of wanting to go mainstream. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to like providing for your family and stuff. I think in the music business, it's tough that you might come across those crossroads where, you know, oh, I can do this and it'll elevate me, or I continue to go, you know, another way. And, you know, it may be less upfront right now, but, you know, I'll be more happier because, you know, I own everything. You know what I mean? So it's almost as if him sitting across is both of these sides of the brain just dueling across each other. This one obviously overtakes it. And now both sides of his brain, or both sides of his business that he may have been, you know, trying to figure out where to go, have been aligned. And that's the reason why we see both of these to, you know, both of his sides sitting here rapping, right? We got him in his regular clothes and his business clothes. Everything's aligned right now. Now, you want to know what's another interesting about this song is that the people who need to hear it are probably not going to listen to this. And that's the true shame. All right, y'all. Let me know what y'all thought about this down in the comments. Dave's out.